p.m. I will call the Personnel Committee to order. The first item we have on the agenda this evening is 2023-122, a resolution approving the salary adjustment for classified non-bargaining employee Ebony Richmond Walker for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. The breakdown for our finance department is an accounts payable person and an accounts receivable person. We have to keep those duties separated, of course. And one of them is in the union, the accounts payable person. The other one is not. So with the wage reopener that just happened, the person in the union did get an increase. And we'd like to keep these two going forward within 10% of each other. And so we're asking for a salary adjustment for the accounts receivable person in order to keep them kind of more in line. Happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions from members of the committee? Any questions from members of council?
No. So I don't know the whole history there. I did hear kind of first when I started about 15 years ago, this one position was not in the union, and the person who was kind of head of finance then said the accounts receivable person worked really hard to get out of the union. And so somehow they made that happen like 20 years ago or so, and it stayed the same ever since. No, new people have come and gone, yeah. Correct. Yep.
Any other questions, council? Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Councilman Schmidt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Heidi. And I will call the Personnel Committee to close at 4:32.
Public Works will come to order. The first resolution we have to consider this evening is 2023-123, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Razor Lake Materials and Services, Inc. for the cleaning, videotaping, and mapping of storm sewers in an amount not to exceed $226,980 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. We started about 5 to 6 years ago trying to do an annual storm sewer cleaning program. Some years we make it, some years we have to skip, but this year we got our bids out early. Razor Lake Materials is a new company, but it is the same person. He just moved companies. That did ours 2 years ago, so we're comfortable going with them. We received 3 bids, and then Razor Lake Materials was the lowest, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from members of the committee, members of council, the public? And Heidi, various storm sewers from throughout the county, are these in, where are they located?
Sure. Let me see. We've got Ravenna Road in Twinsburg Township, Valley View Road, I believe the section of that is in Sagamore Hills, Canton Road in Springfield Township, Portage Lakes Drive in Coventry Township. Then we have Highland Road, I think that's Northfield Center, that section, Swartz Road back down to Coventry, and State Road in Coventry.
Okay, so these aren't storm sewers that are located in allotments that pay an assessment for us to maintain?
Correct. These are storm sewers that are in the road right of way.
That we're responsible
That we're responsible for. Yep.
Okay, thanks, Heidi. Okay, no other questions? Gloria Rogers moved on 2023-123. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2023-124, a resolution confirming the award by Board of Control of a purchase contract with Henderson Products, Inc. at Sourcewell pricing for 2 dump beds and plow frames in a total amount not to exceed $134,086 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. We recently bought 2 cabs and chassis. This purchase is for the plow frames and the dump beds that'll actually go on those trucks. This price includes installation, and it is a cooperative purchasing agreement contract. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee? Members of council? The public? Entertain a motion. Who is that? Sorry. Thanks, Aaron. Aaron Dickinson moved on 2023-124. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 2023-125, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Melway Paving Company, Inc. for the 2023 Summit County 422 resurfacing program in an amount not to exceed $708,444.85 for the engineer, declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This regional payment program, 422, is chip seal. So these are the roads throughout the county that will be chip sealed this year. The county share of that is $281,684.80. And then Copley, Coventry, Peninsula, and Springfield Township are joining us on this contract. They will pay the contractor directly. We got 2 bids, and then Melway out of Holmesville was the lowest bid and was slightly under the engineer's estimate.
Do we have a number of how much these various entities save by going with us versus if they went out by themselves?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of do that comparison because we'd kind of have to. Let me see if I can find someone who bid out chip seal on their own and compare it to our prices for this year.
I see the mayor of Monroe Falls is sitting back there. Enlighten us on some of this. So they're doing some work out
You know, it's hard to say. They definitely save money on contract administration. We know that they're saving the money on the contract administration because we're doing it, they're not, so.
Well, thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Jerry Feeman.
Yep.
Questions from members of the committee? Members of council? The public? Jeff, you want to move on that? Jeff Wilhite moved on 2023-126. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, that was, that was 125.
Yep.
Mark, that was 125? Correct. I'm sorry, that was 125. This is 126. A resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Melway Paving Company, Inc. for the 2023 Summit County 405 resurfacing program in an amount not to exceed $2,197,381.95 for the engineer and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Last one for me. This is also a regional pavement maintenance contract. This technique is they go out, they mill it, they pulver mix it, they lay it back down, and then do a cold mix on top. It's a pretty good option. It holds up pretty well, and it's cheaper than the whole hot mix resurfacing. It's over $2 million. The county share of that is $834,156.40. And then we have Bath Township, Coventry Township, Springfield Township, and Peninsula joining. Melway was again the lowest bidder on this one.
Thank you, Heidi. Questions from members of the committee? Members of council? The public? Gloria, you want to move on that? Gloria Rogers moved on 2023-126. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
Heidi. Is there any other business to come before the Public Works Committee? Then we're adjourned.
Okay, I will call to order the Planning and Economic Development Committee at 4:39. First item on the agenda this evening is 2023-127, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract for construction management services with Apostolos Group, DBA Tamarius, for the Ohio Building HVAC and Finishes Upgrade Project located in the city of Akron in Council District 5 for an amount not to exceed $705,670 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services physical plants and declaring an emergency. Joe.
Good afternoon. Joe Eckenrode with Physical Plants. We sent out an RFP to 5 local construction management firms. Tamarius brought back the best proposal. It's been since 1977 since the Ohio building's been last renovated. We're going to renovate the whole HVAC system and the finishes, bathrooms, hallways, and everything else that goes with the finishes. They're doing the regional dispatch for us currently and doing a good job. So we're looking to move forward with them as a construction management company for the finished project at the Ohio Building. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from committee? Any questions from council?
I have a question.
Rita?
When will this start?
So right now, we're in DD. We're getting close to the construction document phase, so I would say 4 months on that, so about 6 months from now, maybe. We'd like to bring them on now because we're in the development stage, and before we move on to construction documents, we want to have to marry us up so they can, help us with that also.
Do you know how long it's going to take to finish the project?
I believe it's going to take about 14 months. 14 months.
Okay. I have a motion from Councilman Wilhite on 2023-127. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we have item 2023-128, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for a 5-year full maintenance service agreement for elevator maintenance at 6 county buildings located in the cities of Cuyahoga Falls and Akron in Council Districts 2 and 4 for an estimated total cost not to exceed $160,000 for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Division and declaring an emergency.
Hi, Craig Stanley, Director of Administrative Services, Summit County Executives, Department of Administrative Services. One thing I do need to correct is it is 7 buildings and not 6, so I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. And then just to piggyback on what Joe was saying, bringing the construction manager on now helps us with estimating long lead time items, air handlers, things like that. They can get the best pricing and things. That's why we want to bring them on now rather than further down the road. So I just wanted to piggyback on that. So what we're looking for is we have elevators. It's a 5-year deal. They have to be maintained only by certified elevator mechanics, and these companies, out there have those folks. So we just want to put this out to bid because the contract is expiring.
Thank you. Any questions from members of the committee? Any?
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
we could just, if we could do it next week, but if we want to do it right now, if that's the only change that you saw, if it was a member of the committee wished to make an amendment to amend that from 6 to 7, that way we could do that tonight and not have to worry about it next week.
Okay. So I have a motion from Councilman Wilhite to make the amendment from 6 to 7 on Resolution 2023-128. So I have an amendment, a motion to make the amendment. So on the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that motion passes. So we have the amended legislation. So now I'm looking, any questions from council or for members of the committee at this point on the legislation, on the amended legislation? Okay, if I have no questions on the amended legislation, I will ask for a motion for the amended legislation. I have a motion on the amended legislation from Councilman Wilhite. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the amended legislation passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the committee is adjourned at 4:44.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants. We currently have a HVAC and plumbing upgrade project going on at the jail. We're asking an emergency for the showers because FODI is general contractor that's in the jail currently, working on that project also. We're looking to phase it in as we go from pod to pod, as we move the inmates around. The system we're using is currently being installed at Marysville, Ohio, at the Women's Correctional Facility. We're doing the same type of coatings and door system they're using there. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. How many showers are there, or is there a shower in every pod, or how does that work?
So the east side, there is individual showers in each pod. There's 83 showers total in the jail. The west side, they have like a row of 6 in some areas, 4 in others, but they're individual showers on the east side. So 83 total, and we're looking, complete renovation with all new epoxy coating, removing the old tile that's over 30 years old, and also putting on new doors, 3/4 length doors. You're welcome.
Any other questions? We have a motion from Councilman Schmidt. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. 2023-130, resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of construction contract with Johnson Controls Fire Protection Just LP at state term pricing for upgrades to the fire alarm system at the jail in an amount not to exceed $210,520.33 for the Executive Department of Administrative Services fiscal plans and declaring an emergency.
So this upgrade here is to the current alarm system that, again, is over 30 years old. We're replacing 104 pieces of equipment in the jail, and with the new motors, we need this upgrade so that they can link up with the existing fire alarm system. So we have to upgrade some nodes, some new relays and stuff to make that happen. Johnson Controls and owns Simplex, and they've been in the jail for over 30 years. This is proprietary to Simplex. That's why we're at state term pricing on this.
Any questions from the committee? Members of council? Do I have a motion? Councilwoman Darrow. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
I will call public safety to close at 4:48.
I'm going to open the Health and Human Service Committee at 4:48. 2023-131, a resolution confirming the award by Board of Control of Change Order Number 1 to the professional service contract with Child Guidance and Family Solutions for toddlers and preschoolers succeeding program services, TAPS, from 10/1/22 through 9/30/23 in the amount not to exceed $100,000 for a cumulative increase of 66.67% for a total amount not to exceed $250,000 for the Executive Department of Job and Family Services and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, Charmaine Thurman, Jobs and Family Services. Since COVID, this program has had a larger need to serve more children in preschool. In addition, the term of the service has been increased also.
Any questions from the committee? Questions from council? Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. DeVitas. I have a motion from Mr. DeVitas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2023-132, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of Change Order Number 1 to professional service contract with Family Promise of Summit County for homeless and prevention services from 10/1/2022 through, 9/30/2023 in the amount. Well, It just, my father died on that date, so I wasn't expecting that to happen. So, please excuse me about that. In the amount not to exceed $43,000 for a cumulative increase of 66.15%, for a total amount not to exceed $108,000 for the Executive Department of Job and Family Services and declare an emergency. I apologize. No?
Charmaine Thurman. We are seeing an increase in needs for homeless prevention due to the end of the moratorium on evictions and the decrease in SNAP and Medicaid benefits.
Any questions from the committee? Council? Do I have a motion? Oh, thank you, Mr. DeVitas. I have a motion from Mr. DeVitas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2023-133, a resolution confirming the award by Board of Control of a renewal of agreements, second and final, between certain providers and the Executive Department of Job and Family Services and the Summit and Medina Workforce Area Council of Governments to provide in-school and out-of-school youth employment and educational services under the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program for the period of 7/1/2023 to 6/30/24 in the total amount not to exceed $2,172,005.49 for the Executive Department of Job and Family Services and declare an emergency.
Charmaine Thurman, I would like to pull this item from the agenda. We found out late Friday that the COG is still negotiating one of the contracts. Some of our funds are used in the contracts for CCMEP, but our department does not do the negotiation, and so actually we're going to come back at a later date.
So since I didn't entertain a motion, I don't have to just, okay, so wash. Okay, thank you, Charmaine. Oh, I'm going to close, is there any further business? I'm going to close Health and Human Service at 4:52.
Open the Finance Committee at 4:52. We have one item, 2023-134, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control, subject to the approval of the Information Technology Board, of a purchase contract with Dell Marketing, LP, at state term pricing for the purchase of perpetual software licenses through Microsoft Select Plus for the term of 5/1/23 through 9/30/24 in an amount not to exceed $166,960.61 for the Office of Information Technology and declaring an emergency.
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Babb. I'm the Assistant Director for the Office of Information Technology. And this is all the licenses that we need for our production level Microsoft servers and services in-house. It's actually two different contracts or renewals, if you will, for our licensing. The first is a 6-month deal to get us on in alignment with our renewal schedule, which will be at the end of September. And then the second part is then the renewal for that from September to September.
Thank you, Dennis. Any
Yes, sir.
questions?
No, I'm good.
Any questions of the committee? Members of council?
So moved.
We have a motion by Christine Hyam on 2023-134. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
I'll close finance at 5:55.
I'd like to call to order the Committee of the Whole at 4:55. 2023-135, a resolution declaring it necessary to submit to the electors to the County of Summit the question of replacement of the existing tax levy for the program and services of Summit County Development Disability Board, doing business as SCDDB, and requesting the county fiscal officers to certify to the taxing authorities the total current tax valuation for the county and a dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by specified number of meals for the purpose of providing community development disability programs and service pursuant to Chapter 5126 and revised code for the benefit of children and adults for SCDDB and declaring an emergency. And we have Ms. Kamlowski here to address council.
Thank you, Council President Sims. Good evening. My name is Lisa Kamlowski. I'm the superintendent for the Summit County Board of Developmental Disabilities. I'm here tonight on behalf of our board and the 5,000 individuals and families that we serve, looking for your authorization to put a replacement question on the ballot for voters in November of this year. There's a packet in front of you with a little bit of information. My intent is to spend no more than 5 minutes giving you a very high-level overview of what's in that packet. Glad to answer questions afterwards or have other follow-up. But for a little bit of context in terms of where we are, as you know, Summit DD is mandated by Ohio law to provide services to individuals in the county who are eligible. We are serving today over 5,000 folks. We support infants, toddlers, school-aged youth, adults, and seniors who, because of an intellectual or developmental disability, need assistance to navigate their daily life. Now, most of our referrals come from pediatricians and hospitals, but we also receive referrals for services from schools, daycares, or other social service agencies. Supports for all of these individuals are funded primarily with the tax revenue that is generated by our operating levy. So for the last 18 years, Summit DD has been operating on revenue that has been generated from a 4.5 mil levy that was passed in 2005. We have grown by 30% since that time. A replacement levy at the current 4.5 mils will generate approximately $9.5 million in additional revenue each year at an additional cost to a homeowner of approximately $3.59 a month per 100,000 valuation. These additional dollars will ensure that the individuals we are currently serving, as well as the additional folks we project to be serving by the end of the next levy cycle, will be able to receive the same array of supports that are available to our community members today. On page 4 of your packet is kind of just a visual representation of what has happened to our levy funding. And as you can see, when our millage was first voted on in 2005, I think it came in at approximately $55.8 million, if that is correct. Today, we are still not receiving up to that voted millage amount. And what happened to our millage was, as you can see by the chart, the 2008 collapse of market values decreased the amount of revenue that our millage brought in, so that over the years, we have only been able to increase that revenue by the cost of new construction. So a replacement levy is going to basically reshuffle the property valuation to today's rate and apply that 4.5 mils to today's property valuation to result in the additional revenue for Summit DD. Page 5 in your packet also represents, conversely, the growth in services that we have had since our levy was passed in 2005. At that time, we projected to serve a little over 4,000 individuals. That same revenue today is serving almost 5,000 people. We estimate by the end of 2030, which is the end of our next cycle, we will serve approximately 5,600 individuals. Page 6 in your packet is an infographic. There's a lot of information on this slide. It's a very busy graphic. It's really intended to represent for you what do your tax dollars pay for in terms of services. And on the right-hand side, which is about 80% of our expenditures, those are what we call mandated services. So by Ohio law, these are the first services that we're required to provide. And those things include, starting at the bottom of your right-hand side, that green area, we pay for Medicaid match, which basically purchases services that are delivered to individuals by private disability service providers in the community. So United Disability Services, Hattie Larlam, those kinds of providers. They are providing on a daily basis residential support, employment support, day program, transportation. So our tax dollars pay match to the state of Ohio. That then, it's about 40% of the cost of services, give or take. The state of Ohio draws down the other 60% from the federal government, cuts the check to those disability service providers. Above that green slice on your chart, I want to represent to you that we employ about, 25 staff that on an annual basis provide oversight and assistance to those providers relative to monitoring the quality of service that are being delivered to individuals through things like technical support, monitoring, best practice training, and when necessary, via investigations. And then right on top of that is kind of the heart of who Summit DD is, the service coordination. The majority of our staff employed at Summit DD perform some level of service coordination activity. These things include performing intake and eligibility assessments for all individuals who are referred to us, really getting to know the person who needs services, getting to know their family, learning and understand what that individual needs, figuring out the most cost-effective way to fund those services, writing a service plan, helping the person find a provider that they need. Our staff collectively serve a total of 4,000 individuals through those caseloads. Then on the left side of this chart, while these services are not required to be provided by Ohio law, I think you'd agree that most of these supports really are essential supports to help individuals live good lives. For example, we know that early intervention has a significant impact on a child's ability to learn new skills and increases their chance of success in school and life. I'm not going to go through all the number of other things on this slide that we do, but please know that your tax dollars are also supporting community integration in the fashion that is identified on this slide. And then finally, to the meat of the request, page number 7 in your packet is the actual budget levy forecast. Again, very high level. I do have Myra Posna with me tonight, our Director of Fiscal, so if there are questions that are more detailed than I can answer, Myra is glad to answer those for you. But I'm just going to hit a couple of highlights on this forecast. So obviously the property tax revenue, that projected replacement value was provided to us by the Summit County Fiscal Office. The second line, reimbursements. For Summit DD, reimbursements are primarily the revenue that we receive from our case coordinators who bill Medicaid for those case management services. So as you can see, we've built that in throughout the life of the levy. That's pretty much it for revenue for us. On the expenditure side, again, just a handful of notes. Our staffing costs increase by approximately 1% each year, and we have added staff for typical growth. The Medicaid cost line item, that is the line item that pays the match for the services that we talked about on the slide before in the green area. So these are the matching dollars that we provide to the state of Ohio, who then pays those providers for day service, residential service, transportation, and employment. The line that is titled Direct Service Contracts, that is the line item that funds the activities on the left side of the chart. So most of the community integration activities are funded through that line item. As you can see in our fund balance, we are breaking even the first few years of our projections, beginning to deficit spend, I think, in year 3 and then going forward. So in summary, a replacement levy is going to allow us to ensure that the funding continues to support the services that we are providing today, as well as support about an additional 600 individuals through the end of the cycle. I'm going to stop there. I'm sure you have questions. I've taken a lot of time already.
No, you're fine. Any questions, members?
Are you having
So I think for Summit DD as an organization, we have really not felt that. But where we have felt it in our service delivery system are on the provider side. So the green box, the people that are on the ground providing the services day in and day out, they are struggling to maintain direct support staff. I will say that the governor's budget, we are hopeful that it continues through the process because he has been very generous in the Medicaid increases that are in that budget right now. One of the things that we're watching, though, very closely is we're going to have to pay increased match on those rates. So to the extent that those rates increase, that match line item increases for us as well.
Councilwoman McKinney.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you so much for your presentation. I wanted to mention that a couple weeks ago I was able to tour the facilities that are newly renovated as of a year ago in Barberton, and I was really impressed with the level of detail and how client-centered, the building and the staff there was. So thank you so much for all that you do for babies up until, people are at the end of their lives to serve the clients that have developmental disability needs. I did have a question, and that was I believe it's page 4. Do you have an idea of what would account for the increase in the need of services for the amount of the increase in people that need services?
We actually just talked about this. We, for probably the last 15 years, our data shows a net increase of about 100 people per year. And I'm not sure what to attribute that to other than outreach. We do a lot of outreach. Over the last 3 years particularly, we've gotten some additional ARPA money through early intervention, and we've really tried to focus and target those outreach efforts and how we act or interact differently with families. I would also say that we have been able to target some additional support in school districts. So I think we're seeing an increase in youth that are being determined eligible for services once they are in school. So maybe a little bit more on that job readiness, job development area of spectrum of services.
Very important to get the services to the people that need them, so that's very good.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm just curious, I have a 2-year-old, and he was getting services in our home for speech, and what they told me, he graduated this week, flying colors, very proud of him, but they said that there are very many kids his age who had the same issues with speech and socialization because of the pandemic. They were not out in the world the way my other kids were, and I'm wondering if that's part of the increase that you're seeing, and maybe that's hopefully a bit temporary.
It certainly could be, and you are right. We have seen a surge in early intervention within the last probably 4 to 5 months.
Certainly grateful for the services. They were wonderful for us. We're going to keep in touch with our therapist because we just loved her so much. But I appreciate all the work that you do and echo what Councilman McKinney said about very important. And we're glad that you're getting services to people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions from members of the committee? I think one of the things that really helped a lot, too, is how we rebrand the ability part of it. And so it made people more wanting of services that would integrate in a way that the other way we described the services didn't. So we were talking about how people live, work, and play in their community and how the independence part of that, of finding employment and finding place, has changed how we look at developmental disability. So I thank you for all the work that you do. I tell people right now I go out to the Talmadge Center where we're doing all our work. That used to be my office. And so I feel so at home there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Smith on 2023-135. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Before we leave today, we want to welcome Global Ties is here today with a group from Romania. If you guys want to stand up, they're here, particularly to learn learn more about the practice of hospital management.
Yeah, actually, why don't you come forward and I'm gonna have you come forward.
Nursing and teaching. So I think you guys just came back from Cleveland. You guys, come. Yeah.
Okay, and then I also have another group in town right now that are from France and Monaco. And one of the gentlemen joined us here, Pierre, who's from France, but he lived in Romania, and he hasn't had a chance to meet them yet, but he decided to join for the meeting this evening. So, as you guys know, I'm Michelle Wilson, Executive Director with Global Ties Akron. So it is my honor and privilege to introduce our group from Romania who's with the Open World Leadership Program. And they are here on hospital administration and nursing. And they're here for the full week. And they're going all over Northeast Ohio and really taking a look at best practices, everything from first responders to training programs, not just for the nursing, but also for medical professionals and medical records, everything, the whole range in between. And then our other group is here on cybersecurity from France and Monaco with the U.S. State Department International Visitor Leadership Program. And they arrived and were here over the weekend, and they've really enjoyed their time over the weekend, and they're had excellent meetings today, and we'll have meetings tomorrow as well. So I'll let them say a couple words really quick.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, distinguished members. My name is Teodor Blidaru. I'm a medical doctor. I'm advisor to the Romanian Minister of Health in the field of human resources for health. And I'm here with a wonderful delegation from Romania, and I will present them one by one if that's okay for you. We have Daniela. She's a nurse. She's the nurse of the year in Romania, actually, but it's a little secret. She doesn't like to brag about it. Working in the emergency hospital in Brașov. We have Dalila. She's the head nurse, the director of care in a hospital in Iași, in a OB-GYN hospital. We have Cristina. Oh, of course. Then we have Cristina. She is also a chief nurse, a director of care in another hospital in Iași, Moldova, a region of Romania, and an assistant professor in nursing. Then, once again, all the people that I presented, they are also teaching besides practicing as well. And then we have Angelica. She is from a psychiatric. She's working as chief nurse in a psychiatric hospital in Romania, also teaching. And last but not least, Alexandru. He's a medical doctor. He's teaching in a private nursing academy in Romania. And he's also an EMS professional. And he will do actually a night shift tomorrow with the firefighters here in the county, in Springfield. Yeah. We would like to, first and foremost, thank you for hosting us here. Thanks to you, thanks to Michelle and to Global Ties and the whole team for creating a wonderful program for us. The topic is, as Michelle said, nursing and healthcare management, and we are so looking forward to exchanging best practices and looking for things that we can actually go back home and implement, and I'm sure it will be a very valuable week for us in terms of seeing best examples in practice, but also in teaching and in policy that we can implement back home. Once again, thank you, and we are super open to questions after the meeting, of course, if you want to discuss more with the members, and looking forward to spending the week here in County of Summit in Ohio. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
And then Mayor Pierre, and what is your last name?
Hello, my name is Pierre Oliver. I'm the mayor of the 2nd district of Lyon, which is the 3rd city of France. And I'm also elected as the regional council of Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, which is the 2nd biggest region in France. And I'm working with the president, Laurent Wauquiez. We have 7 million people living there. And I manage the financial commission. So I hear that someone of you manage the finance here. So I'm very happy to be with you today and to hear what you discuss about. I can see that it's faster than mine, because in Lyon, we can spend like 13 hours discussing about everything happening in the city. And in the regional council, it can take like 3 days. So maybe I can teach from you to go faster in France. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are so extremely proud to have you all here, and it's just a beautiful thing to see Summit County connected literally to the world. So welcome, and I hope you have a blessed day here. And so if you hang around for a moment, I'm sure we'd love to talk to you.
Madam Chair.
I think Mr. Schmidt and then
Thanks.
Mr. Wilhite.
Welcome. You've got some good weather, so that's a good thing. If
Yeah.
you'd have gotten here a couple of weeks ago, you'd have been wondering, what was going on with the weather. They say in northeastern Ohio, if you don't like the weather, just wait a little while and it'll change. It's one of those deals. But in 1993, I went with the American Council of Young Political Leaders on a foreign study tour of Poland and Hungary. And you can't believe what you learn from something like that. It's just amazing. And you folks coming over here and the exchanges that go back and forth. Liz Walters also, just a few years ago, went with the ACYPL to Israel on a foreign study tour. And so we understand the value of these things. Are you having any fun in Summit County? There's a lot of fun things to do in Summit County, yeah?
We had in the weekend a lot of fun with the host families.
Ah, good. Well, welcome.
Spent a little time in the national park at the Weekend Lizard, and saw the
Good.
Brandywine Falls, I believe.
Oh, that's nice. Beautiful. Well, welcome and have a safe trip. Thank you, Madam President.
Mr. Willett?
Thank you, Madam President. To the folks from Romania, it's a personal thrill for me to have you here. My son-in-law is in the United States Army and just left a week and a half ago to go to your country. He's going to be stationed there for 9 months, and he speaks very highly of it already. He's has an opportunity to go out on the weekends and do some excursions through the Army to learn and see more of your country. So we certainly do welcome you. And Mayor, welcome. It's nice to meet someone who is successful at becoming a mayor. So congratulations to you.
Councilman.
For your information, we have 2 nurses serving on council, sitting here this evening, and that's nurses who become politically active and work with those in government. It's very good for your community. It's been good for us. Thank you for coming. We appreciate the opportunity to meet you and have you here.
And if you'll introduce our nurses, that would be great.
And I have worked in psychiatric emergency for almost 25 years.
Well, I play a nurse on TV, if that counts. Hey, Miss Clayton, I didn't see you over there. Good to see you, too. Thank you for coming to. Any other comments? Hearing none. Thank you all once again. We are now adjourned.
How are you?